Hello, dear friends. This is Pastor Nick Keller with the Minute to Mold message from Pine Valley Baptist Church. We thank you for tuning in your listening place. The thought of the day is this, that we as Christians ought to desire to be Christ-like. And if we're to be as Christ, we ought to love people. See, Jesus was in the people business. He healed people. He met people's needs. He cared for people. He had compassion upon multitudes and people. My friends, He died on the cross for all people. See, He was in the people business. If we're to be like Christ, we ought to love people. We ought to care for them in their loneliness. We ought to have compassion on them when they're destitute. We ought to feel for them, my friends, when they hurt. See, it reminds me of the story in Luke chapter number 9. We find the disciples and Jesus had been with this multitude of 5,000 people all day long. I don't know about you, that could make you annoyed and a little frustrated over time trying to meet the needs. And you can sense that in the sense of the disciples. In Luke chapter number 9, verse 12, He says, "Send the multitude away, that they may go into the towns and countries round about and lodge and get victuals, for we are in a desert place." They said, "Lord, it's time for them to go, right? We're tired of them. We're frustrated. We're a little bit annoyed." And we find that Jesus Christ's response was much different than the disciples wanted. He wanted to care for them and have compassion upon them. And my friends, today, that's God's desire for you and for me, is to have compassion upon others. A businessman named Wallace Spears one day was walking through town. And as he was walking through a town, a young boy looked like he had been homeless for some time, had not shaven. It was a very disheveled look. We find that he comes out and he says, "Sir, you look like a good man. I wonder, would you take just a moment and stop and think about me? There's not a person in this world that would care if I lived or I died, but it would help to know that you just thought of me." And then the boy disappeared into the crowd. Mr. Spears said that every day after that, his loneliness haunted him. I'm here to tell you today, people are lonely, and people need Jesus, and people need you. Have compassion on them. Don't let them bring annoyance and frustration to your life. Love people. We're in a people business, just as Jesus was. Now, you have a good day, my friends.